Starting with the United Arab Emirates has contradicted claims by the Nigerian government that it is yet to lift a year-long visa ban on Nigerian travelers. An official from the Gulf states told CNN that there are no changes on the Nigeria-UAE travel so far. The source asked not to be named because he is not authorized to speak to the media. The UAE said in a notice last October that it will no longer issue visas to citizens from Nigeria and 19 other African nations. It did not provide further details, and obtaining a 30-day tourist visa was relatively easy until the UAE abruptly stopped issuing the visas to Nigerian nationals. Flights between both countries were stopped last year after Dubai's Emirates Airlines suspended its operations in Nigeria, citing trapped revenues. The carrier said it could not access and repatriate its funds amounting to $85 million withheld in Nigeria. First off, I want to say welcome back. You were surely missed. But I mean, we're not in Dubai, so this did not affect you. But we have to talk about this. You know, just this week, you know, the president had, you know, gone to India for the, you know, G20 summit, and on his way back, he made an unscheduled stop at the UAE. And what we got from that was that there was a meeting between our president and and their president as well. And the outcome of that meeting was the immediate lifting of the visa ban, according to our president. Let me be very clear about that. The presidential spokesman, who is representing our president, said the immediate lifting of visa ban on Nigeria, the resumption of Etihad and Emirate Nigeria routes, the $1 billion UAE investment in Nigeria, and joint FX liquidity program with details to follow. But here we are, hearing from an unofficial source. I'm sure by Monday everything is going to be clear. But an official source, and of course going to CNN, which is a very reputable news organization, saying no. And I myself, as an avid traveler, as soon as I heard the news, I remember going on their website to see if an announcement or some kind of briefing had been made. And up until this morning, there was nothing like that. So to be hearing this from a source inside or, from the Gulf country is quite alarming, because on social media we could see, people jubilating, travel agencies happy that, we could start going to Dubai. But this, who is not saying the truth here? Is it a situation where the president maybe did not understand what the objectives of that meeting was, or what will I say, the agreement from that meeting was, or was it a situation where we were in a rush to announce it? What exactly has happened? And what is very interesting is, if you are owing this country $85 million, what exactly is being done to make sure that their trapped funds, they get their trapped funds back? Because why, if someone was owing you that kind of money, why would you start business with them without any kind of maybe MOU or some kind of payment plan? Yeah. So it's scary, because we know that the president has done a few deals. Even when he was in India, he was boasted of having signing some MOUs. There are going to be investments. There's going to be a $14 billion investment. We haven't seen it in pen and paper.
Every president does that. I mean, each time they travel, the news has to look good. This is not to reduce the import of what the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is doing. But this is what you will get. I mean, Buhari did the same thing. Jonathan, Obasanjo, once you travel, the news has to look good. But specifically on the SAR relationship with the UAE, I think you hit the nail on the head. First, we have to admit that this is not an official statement, from the government of the UAE or the Emirate of Dubai. But of course, if a CNN is saying that, an authoritative source who does not want to be named is saying categorically that no such agreement has been reached, or was reached at the meeting, then that carries a lot of weight. More so that we could see that in barely 48 hours or 72 hours after the return from Dubai, Ajuri Ngelale, the presidential spokesperson, had to basically issue two different statements, almost contradicting himself about what he said, in the beginning. And just like you did, when you checked, if what Ajuri reported is actually what is going on in the Dubai media or the UAE media, you see that the report that many people got online, particularly from Gulf based media houses, is not in sync with the enthusiasm, or their report didn't carry the sort of enthusiasm that our own report from the presidential spokesperson carried. What could have happened? I don't think the fault will be that of Ajuri alone. Even though as a presidential spokesperson, there's no way you can absolve him of a fault, if indeed there is one. What has happened is that one, I think it stems from the kind of unscheduled visit that the president decided to embark on. I would have thought that what would have been necessary would be to have a proper state visit, to the UAE, in which case we will have seen our president, and the prime minister of the UAE, standing side by side, granting interviews and saying that these are the points that they agreed on. But that's not what we got. So we can understand that, it wasn't a state visit. But hey, where are we on Nigerians returning to Dubai if they choose and getting visas and flights resuming? It's obvious from what is happening that those agreements are yet to be finalized, even if they were raised at the meeting. And I believe that they will have been raised, but it doesn't look like they've been finalized on, because the points are clear.
Yes.
Let's deal with the issues. $85 million that are not being remitted. In any case, the visa denial is not just affecting Nigerians, it's also affecting about 16 other African countries. So will they leave that for Nigerians alone and leave all the other 16, 15 African countries? Those are the things that we have to deal with. And this is also a lesson to people who speak on behalf of government, not to rush out with news that that in 24 hours it might be denied or it might be changed. But hey, Ajuri is learning, isn't he?